Welcome back once again, race fans, here to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Tonight, the NASCVR Masters of the Draft Xfinity Series fires things off for race number 2 in the 4-week mini-season to see who will be the king behind the wheel of these Xfinity rides. How you doing? How you feeling? Out there in TV land, race fans, glad you could all join us here tonight. As always, Dave of the Cave bringing you all the calls from trackside. Speaking of trackside, busy place. A little bit of a 10-minute warm-up for these drivers to shake down the machines to get set to race 67 laps around this huge paperclip. High bank corners, over 230 miles an hour. Who's going to walk away with the checkered flag tonight? Will we see a repeat winner? Will Joe Wells be able to produce back-to-back race winning performances? Wells going to victory lane last week at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Will he be able to reproduce it and get back to the victory lane tonight? We've got a long way before we find out. As the music begins to fade, we'll get that track information out of your way, bring you some of those qualifying times from a bit earlier on in the day here tonight from the iRacing Super Speedway. Topping the charts, quick time in qualifying belongs to the Fast Ford. Or I apologize, Travis Gilbert taking, and yes indeed, a Ford. Don't know why we thought he was in a Toyota, but Travis Gilbert behind the wheel of his Ford machine. The snatches the U.S. Veterans Pole Award. Zach Lanen right there behind him. Greg Thompson with a great qualifying effort. How about the Drift King? Jacob Drift, the 14 Fast weekend, week out, sitting on top of the overall point standings in championship. A Drift looking to continue this long season, trying to walk away with the big boy trophy, the overall season championship. 5 4-week mini seasons to decide who will be your season champion. We've got 3 championships in the bag already, 3 different championship winners, and already this Xfinity Series block has produced a first-time winner. Joe Wells to victory lane. Will he do it again? We'll find out here shortly. It's a little look at an insight on your qualifying standings coming into tonight's race. So a large field here tonight. Over 20 drivers will set their sights on lap number 67. That's going to be the magic number. Will we have a late race caution? We've seen it in the past. iRacing Super Speedway, one of the tracks that is, well, it's a little difficult, right? It's a little tough. It has some uncharacteristically bumpy bumps. I know that may sound It may sound awkward, it may sound a little weird, but if you've been on the platform, you've been in the car, any car here at iRacing Super Speedway, you understand what I mean about those bumps being a little more bumpy. It's more of a drop off really than a bump in the corner, and can definitely upset the handling of the car. So it's not all about speed. You have to have comfortability behind the wheel here tonight. We'll see which one of the drivers and crews has been able to work and walk that thin line while keeping speed in the car. Everybody going to try to get to victory lane. Last few moments here before we send our starting grid here tonight. So we're going to step away for a brief commercial break, pay some of the sponsors' bills early here tonight with the National Association of Stock Car Virtual Racing Masters of the Draft Xfinity Series live from iRacing Super Speedway. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back.
the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
So proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And back trackside after the flyover has finished, drivers making their way through final pre-race inspection. We're ready to set the grid for tonight's race at the iRacing Super Speedway. Who's going to get the job done? Will we see patience pay off? Or will these drivers fire off right from the start? Already official word to head around the track coming in. So as you see drivers make their way off the starting grid, you hear the sounds in the background, you know it's time to run down tonight's starting lineup for the Masters of the Draft Xfinity race number 2, starting inside row number 1, snatching the pole position, snatching away that U.S. Veterans Pole Award with a 47-21 behind the wheel of that 2 machine, Travis Gilbert. Zach Lanen will start just to his outside with Greg Thompson and Landon Lacey back in 4th position. Row number 3 here tonight. The number 3 of Joe Wells looking to get back to victory lane once again, followed by the 41 of Anthony Handley. Jim Thorndike and Andrew Moore make up row number 4 with Jacob Drift and Al Likens finishing out your top 10. Row number 6 here tonight from the iRacing Super Speedway, the 48 of Brandon Browning and the 38 of Gregory Thurlow. Dylan Picklesheimer and George Burns back in row 7. Row number 8 tonight here from iRacing Super Speedway, the 88 of Sam Taylor, followed by the 37 of Mark Ackerman. Larry Bruner, Dakota Bailey, Mark Willett, and Scott Wise round out your top 20. Row number 11, final spots in the field here tonight, the 59 of Darren Mack with the 64 of William Britton. To his outside, finishing out the 22 car field here tonight. So as drivers make their way off of turn 4, music will fade and we will get things underway for the first time here tonight. We go green. Flag racing for the first time here tonight. Who's going to get it done? Long road, 67 laps here from the iRacing Super Speedway. We're going to see a lot of side-by-side action. We're going to see a lot of the jockeying for position already 3 wide with 54 way up the racetrack. Landon Lacey out of line. Nowhere to go. No one following him in his tire tracks. I was going to say footsteps 2-3 wide once again, but nobody really working with Lacey, and he's going to fall all the way to the rear of the field. Lacey from the front to the rear. All within 1 lap. Oh, trouble! Trouble at the front. Andrew Moore up and around the 96 goes over. We've got a parking lot on lap number 1. Joe Wells going to be involved. The sim coaches number 41 caught up and gets a piece of this one. Jim Thorndike, Larry Bruner, Scott Wise all involved early. Let's go to the replay. Oh my gosh. Did you see that 96? Holy jeez. Was that Bruner in the 96? I mean, my goodness. Absolute carnage and chaos. Early lap number 1, loose on the bottom of the 96, up the racetrack, melee ensues. We are back behind the pace car early here tonight from the iRacing Super Speedway. So I don't want to call it an easy lap led early here tonight for this number 2 machine of Travis Gilbert, but man, that one's going to catch a handful of guys. Andrew Moore, Al Likens, Anthony Handley, Scott Wise, Larry Bruner, Jim Thorndike, all involved. Zach Alanin going to catch a little piece of the action as well. So a 7-8 drivers caught up early here on lap number 1. And although we've got a long night ahead of us, they're going to be behind the 8 ball very early here tonight. They're going to continue to need help to get themselves back onto the lead lap. Handful of the guys already listed 1 lap down. Handful of guys. You can see them right there. Still on pit road. Too much damage to try to get out there and stay on the lead lap or minimize the laps lost so early. Trouble here tonight. We're going to take one more look at it. Let's see what happened. We were taking a look there at what happened with Scott Wise and Jim Thorndike. Let's go up there. Let's check the replay. See what happened with Andrew Moore. There you can see. Oh my gosh. 41 hard impact for Anthony Handley. I mean, just a parking lot early here tonight. Andrew Moore comes to a slide. My goodness. And well, when you go to the big tracks, you get the big wrecks. We've got a massive one early here tonight, lap number 3. And Travis Gilbert may be trying to save fuel. I mean, we've seen things like this happen before in the past, but interesting to hear the radio chatter on that team radio. We're privileged to some of those things. Unfortunately, we don't bring that out during the broadcast because you never know who's watching and listening. We don't want to give an advantage or an unfair advantage to maybe one driver, maybe his fans in his ears watching, listening, tuning in, seeing if they can't give any type of help whatsoever. And there's nothing wrong with that, don't get me wrong. That's why real life, when crew chiefs are on their pit box, they've got the TV broadcast right there. So if they're showing something in a particular driver's car, they can kind of cue in on it as well. So, but we're a little bit different here at the Turn 3 Racing Network. We like to keep the strategies being discussed as quiet as possible until it becomes blatantly obvious. And that one was pretty blatantly obvious, trying to save fuel by tightening up the distance around the racetrack. And with a 3-mile track, saving a half a lap is a lot. Still down on the apron, still in that fuel-saving mode, is the U.S. Veterans Pole Award winner, your race leader, Travis Gilbert, going to bring the field back to the green flag. This time around, Gregory Thompson to his outside. Joe Wells now to third. Jacob Drift picking up 5 spots there on lap number 1. Drift going to restart second row outside lane. Landon Lacey, Brandon Brown back in row 3. Bailey Picklesheimer in row 4 with Ackerman and Willett in your top 10. The bet to track number 2 will lead the field back to the green flag. Field heading through turn number 4. Our good buddy Gibby Richards will take the iRacing pace car back down. Pit lane, set the field loose once again. The boss man to the flag stand awaits the field to smash the gas. On the loud pedal and away we go. Green flag flies for the second time early here tonight in race number 2 with the Masters of the Draft Xfinity Series. It's a little calmer on this second restart, or first restart, I should say. Second start of the race. Whatever. We're going to continue on. Driver still jockeying for positions. You can still see 2-3 wide back through the majority of the field. Handful of guys getting left out at the top there. You can see Darren Mack at the 59. Nobody wanting to go up there and pick up Mack. He's going to drop from the front to the back. 74. To drop to the inside of him, Zach Alanin looking to regain a handful of positions after early trouble here tonight. 1 lap behind us after the restart. We'll stay under green flag conditions. A lot of racing going on. We're going to jump around the track an awful lot here tonight. And and your pole center with trouble. Big issues now. 77 Andrew Morcotto. Oh my gosh. 64 in this one. Holy jeez. 37 coming to a sliding stop. You can see that machine absolutely ruined, trashed. Quick repair going to come in handy here tonight for a handful of these guys. Let's take a look back. Let's go to the replay with the turn 3 drone cam. Let's see what happened. Just loose on the bottom underneath. Comes up contact with the 37. The 50 going to catch a piece. Or that's going to be the 80. We apologize. That's going to be the 80 of Mark Willett. A little rescue, number 80. Contact here. Let's check out what happened with Willett. There it is. There's the contact. Mark Ackerman's onboard camera there. You can see him. Ackerman, the driver that was clipped into the outside wall. Banged up again and again. There's the engine going. Man, I'm telling you, a lot of A lot of damage in this one for a lot of guys. We're going to jump back out front with the race leader. New race leader now, Gregory Thompson, going to take the top spot away. 2 early cautions here tonight. The lap number 7 underway. 60 remaining here from the iRacing Super Speedway. And, well, Anthony, we're sorry to see you out of the race so early here tonight. Good thing able to continue on next week. The sim coach is number 41, already behind pit wall, involved in both of the early incidents here tonight. And a handful of these drivers have been involved in both of these incidents. Will it be enough to relegate a few of them back behind pit wall? Or will they be able to massage the fenders enough to meet that minimum speed and keep it out there on the track? Your pole sitter here tonight. See, nobody's safe. Nobody's safe. Out front, leading, gets back into second in a little bit of dirty air right on the rear deck lid of the driver in front of him. One little move on the bottom goes wrong, and here we are. I'm back under caution for the second time. So, I mean, even, like we said, even those drivers that seem to be comfortable, still not out of reach. It's not impossible to think that they may be involved. They may be the start of it. Not just in it, but maybe the start of it as we watch right there, and just a tough brake car breaking loose, and around he goes back up the track, collecting a handful of drivers. So a big question here now, as we have yet to see this thing really jockey into the handling portion of a green flag run. Being able to save a little bit of fuel here under caution. Top 3 drivers have yet to hit pit road. The rest of the field behind them have at least been to pit road one time. You can see the number 12 PPG paints of Dylan Pickelsheimer back in the 4th position. Pickelsheimer pit road on our first caution. Rest of the field under our second caution this last time around. And we've got a handful of drivers. A handful of drivers still trying to fix their machines up. Trying to get back out there on the track. Trying to gain anything and everything. There's a lot on the line here. Race number 2, almost halfway through the 4-week mini season for the Xfinity Series Championship. So you can ill afford the 2 bad weeks in a 4-week mini season. Overall picture, yeah, you can recover from a little bit of a rough run. But as far as these mini seasons and championships are concerned, you got to bring your A game. Week in, week out. Field going to work their way down the backstretch and back towards turn number 3. Bossman in the flag stand will await your control car. Greg Thompson going to bring the field to the green flag. Last week's race winner, Hot Shoe, in the house at the front of the field. Behind the wheel of that number 3, Joe Wells, looking for his second win of the season. We'll see if he can get it done. See how the rest of the night goes. Still a very, very long way ahead of us here tonight. We'll work to lap number 10 when we drop the flag once again. Richard's going to exit the track. The field will roll to the restart zone. Just like that, we're back. Green flag racing once again here from iRacing Super Speedway. You're watching the National Association of Stock Car Virtual Racing Masters of the Drag. Positions up for grabs at the front of the field. Your top 5-6 drivers breaking way down the backstretch. 59 back at the top of the speedway. Darren Mack back at the top, but being left behind once again. You can see the Baja Blast Mountain Dew. I do believe that's going to be the 88 of Sam Taylor. Yes, it is. Taylor sitting right around that 8th position as now Joe Wells keeps it at the bottom of the racetrack and takes the race lead for the first time off of turn 4. And the one driver to pit road, Greg Thompson to pit road. Thompson to pit road. Wells going to stay out. New race leader, front of the field. Let's drop. Van Tunning scoring over there to the left-hand side of your screen. Battle for the race lead once again to 3 wide as the 48 of Browning looks to the high side. And is that a Flintstones? You gotta be. Tell me I'm not seeing that right. Or better yet, tell me I am seeing that right. No, it's a SpongeBob. SpongeBob! 3 wide racing here at the iRacing Super Speedway. Nothing keeping these drivers from mixing things up early. Cautions here tonight, but drivers still out there working the wheel, trying to get all they can. Let's take a look inside the cockpit, riding with Sponge Cuz himself right here, I'm telling you. He might live in a pineapple under the sea, but he's going to lead this race here very shortly, all over the rear deck lid of the GB22 Designs Earnhardt Tribute. Number 3 of Joe Wells, 1-2 on the racetrack. Pickle Simon right there with Dakota Bailey. Jacob Drift just to their outside. Back outside the race car for a moment. Things still heating up at the front of this field. Nobody satisfied just yet. There's a big run by Jacob Drift. He's going to close right in on the tail end of that Mountain Dew machine. Oh my goodness. Having to keep peeking. That Drift key. Number 14 to the high side. Jacob Drift getting those runs, but does not want to give too big of a bump draft. You can see right there, I believe that's going to be Greg Thompson, early race leader here tonight. Had to serve a pit road penalty. Jumped. The restart had to serve a drive-through penalty. And looky here. We're going to have ourselves a 3-wide moment with a lap machine to the high side. The drivers are going to make their way around the lap traffic. No problems, no issues there. Still side by side. And the 48 get loose up the track into the 24. 14 involved. Yo, Wade going to catch a piece of this one. Now the 96 going to clip in. The 44 is going to catch some bright front damage. 59 involved. Oh boy, it's another big one here from the iRacing Super Speedway. My goodness. Let's see what happened up here with the spotter cam for Greg Thompson. There you can see just what a mess it can become and how quickly it can happen here from the iRacing Super Speedway. A lot of drivers going to be involved in this one. Darren Mack, the 59, caught up and involved. Mack up on the high side trying to avoid the carnage and chaos, and unfortunately to catch a significant piece of this one. The 49 also involved. The 7 drivers in total involved in our latest caution here tonight from the iRacing Super Speedway. So back behind the pace car, back out front with the race leader Joe Wells. Will he bring that number 3 machine to pit road? Just about a third of the way through, and Wells does indeed come to pit road for the first time here tonight. Wells going to stay out front. Majority of the field is going to come to pit road. I believe there's Travis Gilbert listed off the lead lap. Back in the 12th position, Zach Alanin also wounded here tonight. There you can see Alanin getting himself back onto the lead lap. So just a handful of drivers already on the lead lap. A lot of damage, a lot of car parts flying. The scrapyard going to get a bit richer after this one here tonight at the iRacing Super Speedway. Landon Lacey looks like he may win the race off of pit road. Or no, Jacob Drift. Jacob Drift gonna lead the race off of pit lane. Great pit stop for the 14. He's gonna come out front. Dylan Picklesheimer, Sam Wells, Joe Wells, Sam Taylor, Joe Wells, William Brent, Landon Lacey, Dakota Bailey, Larry Brandon Bruner, and I believe Zach Alanin will finish out your top 10. A lot of action, a lot of parts and pieces flying. We haven't seen any kick flips here tonight. And if you know, you know. And if you don't, stick around. You may very well find out. No kick flips tonight. So the counter still on 0. Caution number 3. As we make our way into turn number 3. Handful of drivers remaining on the lead lap. A lot of wounded warriors here tonight. We started with 22 drivers. We have already got 4 out of tonight's race, leaving us with only 18 drivers being scored. And a handful of those guys trying to fix some pretty heavy damage. If Wells loses, we riot. Well, I don't know where you're going to be at, but I don't know that we can all riot. I mean, a single person riot just doesn't seem like a riot. Good to see you out there in the chat, Brady. Glad you could join us here tonight. Picklesheimer will take over the race lead, so the PPG paints number 12 to the front of the field for the first time here tonight. The Pass Ford Mustang will lead us to the green flag. Joe Wells looking to get his Toyota Supra back into that top spot. Sam Taylor going to restart on the outside lane, up 13 positions from where he qualified. So Taylor being cleaned. I mean, there's not much more to say right there. You keep it clean, you can get to the front. If you can avoid the carnage and chaos, then you give yourself a mighty big a mighty big you know what, I'm losing my train of thought. A mighty big advantage over the field. Right? Everybody's got fast repairs. Everybody's got a quick fix. One quick fix. You're afforded 1 bit of damage. 2, and you may be questionable to finish. 3, and you might be completely out of tonight's race. So how will the rest of the field run this one out? 10 drivers remain on the lead lap as the pace car gets ready to dock off. Lap number 18 will go on the board. We've got parts and pieces flying already. Parts and pieces flying off the cars. That's going to put us under caution once again. We're going to stay under caution here. You seen the hood of somebody go flying off in the track. Official's going to have to get out there and grab that up real quick before we go back green flag racing. onboard camera surviving the damage here tonight. Taking a look on board with the 08 of Greg Thompson. Listed outside of the top 10, field double file back down the back stretch once again. Let's jump on board. We do got an onboard camera here with Joe Wells. What do you say we ride here for the restart? Here Wells. Kick it down that gear, get ready to smash the gasket, ablaze on the loud pedal. Get things underway. Richards back to pit lane. Boss man in the flag stand awaits the field, and we go back green flag racing. Once again here from the iRacing Super Speedway. Lap number 19 goes on the board. Great jump at the start for the 12 of Picklesheimer. He's going to head to the top of the racetrack. That's going to open up the door on the bottom for the 3 of Wells and the 54 of Landon Lacey. Quickly, the 12 of Picklesheimer goes back to the bottom. Bump draft down the back stretch. 3 on the back end of the 12. Help on the outside for the 88. William Britton right there. Great run so far here tonight from Britain, up 19 positions from where he qualified. So the Cush sponsor, number 64. We're not going to get into the rest of the paint scheme. If you're watching, you're enjoying it. It just absolutely, you know, we're just going to keep it at that. '88 on the outside. Sam Taylor trying to hang it to the high side, trying to make some gains. Not going anywhere for the time being. We're going to jump on board right along inside of the 88 machine, the Mountain Dew Chevy. Looking for the bottom. He's going to get there. A little bit of a fender of the gas, getting through the corner. And I tell you what, we're going to leave it right here, heading down into turn 1. You can hear the drivers having the fender of the gas coming out of 4. You come up out of the racetrack over a little bit of a hill, a little bit of a bump. You got to be careful not to spin those rear tires at that point in time. But look at this dip into turn 1. Did you see it there? All the guys in front of him kind of dipped down for a moment. It's kind of like being on that country back road, right? And you just hit that one little dip in the road. Like, I'll describe it as a funny feeling in the stomach. If you know, you know, but whatever. We're going to jump back outside of the corner. We got some movement to the high side. Looking to work his way back onto the lead lap. Greg Thompson outside in 11th for the time being. Trying to work his way back onto the lead lap the good old-fashioned way. 12 for Picklesheimer, a little bit quicker. He's going to jump to the high side, look for a way around. Big wiggle. Big twitch out of the front end of that 08, and Greg Thompson in trouble. Thompson in trouble as the field going to catch him quick. 2 of Gilbert jumps to the high side, makes up a position here. Whoa, trouble 64 of Britain on the bottom. And there it is. We've got our first kick flips of the night. Caution flag gonna fly here on lap number 23. Caution flag flies. Let's jump straight to the replay. A little loose on the bottom. There's the contact 3. Oh my God. I'm not sure who exploded at the top, and it was Brandon Browning. Brandon Browning absolutely destroyed. Let's go for as long as the camera lasted. Browning trying to miss it, trying to miss it. We apologize. That was not Brandon Browning. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you. That is a rough hit for a lot of drivers. Jacob Drift could have catch some of it. There you can see his wounded machine up against the outside wall. So the laundry list of drivers with trouble continues to increase. And honestly, maybe 3 to 5 drivers in the field here tonight. Absolutely no damage. Tons of drivers caught up involved in things here tonight as pit road opens up. Wells, Lacey, Picklesheimer, Taylor, they all come to pit road. Darren Mack in the 59 looks like he's going to stay out on track, thinks better of it. He's going to come to pit road this time around. So, man, look at that 64, just absolutely demolished. Want to take one more look back at this one, see how it all went down once again. Lap number 22, caution out, 64 loose way up the racetrack. Oh my gosh, got drivers flipping, flying. Man. See, we've got what we call big ones, then we've got crazy ones. That's going to fall into that category of crazy. 2 drivers airborne. One of them absolutely catapulted across the track. If ejectocito cuz was a situation, that would have been it right there. Big shout out to the Fast and Furious franchise, letting us utilize that moniker and saying from time to time. It's just a huge moment there. Frequent flyer miles for the band. Behind the wheel there, just destroyed. There's no other way to put it. The Ryko Racing setup number 54 of Landon Lacey looks to take control of the race lead for the first time here tonight. Joe Wells going to line up just beside him with Dylan Picklesheimer and Sam Taylor. Greg Thompson round out your top 5. Just a little over a third of the way through tonight's race, and we have seen some big ones here tonight. 6 drivers now on the list of 2 damaged to continue. Zach Layden, Dakota Bailey, Jim Thorndike, Al Likens, Mark Willett, Anthony Handley, all early exits here tonight from the iRacing Super Speedway. That's going to leave us with 16 drivers on the track, but even less on the lead lap. 7th driver now added to the list of drivers out of tonight's race. The 64 Cush-sponsored Ford Mustang of William Britton. Too much damage to continue. He's going to pull it back behind the wall and head to the hauler early here tonight. What would I say about the key to the drivers being able to keep it clean tonight? Well, I mean, it has been key, right? The majority of the field has been damaged. So they've either burned that fast repair or they've just managed to fix the machines as much as possible. But I'd like to say the key is being at the front, but we've seen trouble at the front. So the key has been luck. That's the best I got. Richards back to pit road with the pace car. We're set to unleash the beast once again. The lap number 26 underway as we drop the green flag once again here from the iRacing Super Speedway. drivers remaining on the lead lap. That's just a testament right there of those drivers that have been able to keep it clean. 6 drivers remaining on the lead lap here tonight, and they're still pushing out there. The 3 of Joe Wells all over the tail end of Landon Lacey. That's going to move the outside lane to the front, back down to the bottom of the 80 machine of Sam Taylor. Going to bail from the high side. He's going to drop down to the bottom. And there you can see I believe that was the 2. Yes, it is. There it is. Travis Gilbert sitting in the lucky dog position back in 7th. Your U.S. Veterans Pole Award winner. Early trouble here tonight. I would expect that he would have used that quick fix and burned that fast repair very quick out there, looking to get his lap back the good old-fashioned way. Field whittled down to 13 drivers on the track here tonight. A laundry list of drivers caught up and involved in early incidents here tonight. We've seen 3 huge wrecks so far throughout the course of tonight's Xfinity race number 2 here with the Masters of the Draft, sponsored by Little Rescue Towing, saving lap machines 1 caution at a time. Want to give a big shout out to Bud Kicker as well. Their haptic transducers put every bump, every wisp of the wind right there with you in the seat. The future is feeling Bud Kicker. Feel what you've been missing. Big shout out to everybody over there at Beef Jerky Unlimited. Holiday season just around the corner. You're looking for an amazing, delectable stocking stuffer? Head on over to Beef Jerky Unlimited. Something for every bit of palate. They got it from sweet to heat. Whether you're looking for some manganero, that's right, mango habanero. They got some nitro, methane, Hawaiian pineapple for you as well. Beef jerky, chicken jerky, turkey jerky. They've got it all. Check out beefjerkyunlimited.com. Enough about the sponsors for a moment. Let's get back to the action at the front of this field. You see your U.S. Veterans Pole Award winner behind the wheel of that fast Ford Mustang, the number 2 machine, fighting to get himself back on the lead lap. Close quarters, racy on the front stretch. He's going to crowd him down just a little bit. Look to take over the race lead. Have all the lead lap cars right behind him. Working hard behind the wheel is that 3 of Joe Wells, trying to keep the 54 Ryko Racing Setups machine of Landon Lacey out in front of him. And interesting to see just how well these Fords and Toyotas. Oh boy. How did he? There's no way. Did he? It did not save it. Joe Wells gonna have a problem. 5th caution of the night gonna fly here. Lap number 31, caution flag will fly. I don't think he hit anything. Let's go check the replay here. Wells, our latest victim on the bottom of the racetrack to get loose. And catching it late already there. See if we can watch it one more time right here. Did we got this one? Let's watch Wells here. Going to look for this trouble. I believe it's going to be this time in turn number 3. You're going to see Wells at the bottom of the racetrack have a little bit of a dip. Right, he's going to go over that dip heading into turn number 3, and that's where the trouble starts. There it is. Loose up the track, keeps it out of the outside wall, keeps it out of the other drivers. And talk about a moment when you need some extra padding in the fire suit, if you get what I'm saying. That is definitely an moment. Joe Wells. All stay good hands of the race. Right there, I mean, able to go around at the front of the field, miss every driver, miss the outside walls, and just come away needing 4 fresh Goodyear. Job well done. And a job well done to this man right here. Travis Gilbert, racing hard, got himself back on the lead lap the good old-fashioned way. He's going to get to pit with the entirety of the field and line up. Longest line when we go back green flag racing, but still a very long way to go, just over halfway here tonight. Greg Thompson going to stay out on the racetrack. We're going to step away for just a brief commercial break. Pay a few of the sponsor bills. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back. Back at the front of the field, pace car lights are off. Halfway down the backstretch, we're going to get ready to drop the hammer once again here at the iRacing Super Speedway. You're watching the National Association of Stock Car Virtual Racing's Masters of the Draft Xfinity Race number 2. Handful of drivers caught up and involved early here tonight. 22 drivers hit the starting grid. We are down to 13 on track with only, I believe it's only going to be 7 drivers remaining on the lead lap. Long way to go. Who can work their way to victory lane? We're fixing to find out here as pace car dunks off. We're ready to drop the hammer, and away we go. Green flag flies once again here from the iRacing Super Speedway. Thompson easily works his way to the front, but you don't want to jump out there too far. He's going to get reeled in rather quickly. There you can see Picklesheimer right around the high side. He's going to grab that top spot away. Big run down with the 88 of Sam Taylor. Tucked in line outside lane is moving. Pulsitter Gilbert back in line. Third car on the move to the front. He's going to take over that third position. Joe Wells going to slot in fourth for the moment. Greg Thompson slides back to fifth. 4 wide on the front stretch. Oh boy, turn number 1's fixing to get busy. The drivers are going to sort that out. My goodness, 4 wide on the front stretch. Lap number 35. We're going to go 3-4 wide once again. Wells on the high side. Battle for the race lead. Nobody's giving an inch. 2-3 wide again. Everybody avoids trouble from the bumps in turn number 3. High side going to lose a little bit of momentum. Wells unable to sustain the RPM needed at the top, while Sam Taylor leads us across the line. Lap number 36 on the board. Timing scoring back to the left-hand side of your screen. And what do you do now, race fans, right? You know, I usually like to have a calm, cool strategy when it comes to super speedway racing. I like to kind of feel things out at the very beginning. We've seen it get a little bit dicey. We've seen the tremble on the bottom lane. I'd probably begin to try to run that mid lane, avoid the massive dip, and minimize the handling issues heading into these corners. Maybe drop back in the field, but now with only 13 drivers out on the track, you can see already a little bit of a speed differential for the 44 tucked in line back here in the back. I mean, you can't really afford the layback. You're going to be right there in the midst of it. If something happens, if something goes wrong, you're going to be caught up. You're going to be in the middle of it. Final man on the lead lap, Darren Mack behind the wheel of the 59. You can see heavy damage on the front end and all over the right side of his machine. He's 20 seconds off of the lead lap. That is just about a half a lap down. So it's going to be a long night for him. He's going to need the help of a handful of more cautions. He's going to need some of these front runners to have some trouble. See the 48 of Brandon Browning. There's Browning behind the wheel of the SpongeBob machine. Well behind the field, a lot of damage on the left side. He was sent flying earlier here tonight. A long pit stop for Browning. He would have minimalized it and keep it just one lap down. Meanwhile, front of the field, your top 5 continue to tango for positions. Gilbert back to the front. Sam Taylor right there. Greg Thompson, Joe Wells up front. Knocking down the door of just about 30 laps remaining here tonight from the iRacing Super Speedway. You thought things were hot and heavy at the beginning of tonight's race. What will these 5 drivers in this lead pack do for a race win? We haven't seen a ton of back-to-back race-winning performances this season. Will we see it here tonight behind the wheel of these Xfinity rides? Joe Wells has run well all night long. Qualified in the top 5, has run in the top 5 for the majority of tonight's race. You can see him right there, second man in line inside lane. Moves into that second position. Only the 2 of Gilbert in front. Side-by-side action for Lacey and Thompson. Taylor and Picklesheimer mixing it up 5th and 6th on the raceway. Going to take a look down the right side of the man leading tonight's race, Travis Gilbert. Going to lead us through 1 and 2 here. You want to know what it feels like to do 238 miles an hour. You're getting a little bit of a feel for it here. And if you think we're playing, you think we're stretching the speed here tonight. Let's see if we can, guys, can we get that up there? Can we get that graphic up there for, please? Can we? And there it is. 237 miles an hour into a massively banked corner. And you don't hear him lift a bit. That is just the banking and the radius of the corner slowing the car down. Here in the draft again, 136, 37. My goodness, these guys are just absolutely flying through the field here tonight. We're going to jump back outside the machine, back outside the car, jump around the track to some of the hot spots. Race leaders down the front stretch. Couple of guys on pit road. Handful of lap traffic out front. They're going to stay to the high side. Andrew Moore. Going to keep that Golf Fuel number 77 throwback machine up at the top of the racetrack. Allow the lead lap drivers to race it out amongst themselves. See Scott Wise right here in the mix. Wise listed a handful of laps down in the 11th position. He's going to need a handful of help to gain some of that time back. He's going to need at least 2 or 3 cautions if he's going to want a shot at walking away with a race win, but time is running out. The time is ticking. 75 miles of racing action remain, 24 laps to go. Here with the Masters of the Draft Xfinity Series race number 2. Want to take this moment and opportunity to say thank you to each and every one of you tuning in, watching us here tonight, whether you're over here on the home YouTube side of things, or if you're over there on Twitch. Maybe you've joined us on Kick in the past handful of weeks. We want to appreciate, or want to send a big shout out and a huge appreciation to each and every one of you. That's why we're here. That's why we do it, to bring this great racing action to the masses. So while you're here, while you're at it, show these drivers some love and appreciation, and as always, drop them that thumbs up. It's not about just the racing action here tonight. It's about the action week in, week out, each and every Thursday night. Get your adrenaline fix with the Masters of the Draft, brought to you by the National Association of Stock Car Virtual Racing. Things getting a little heated at the front, getting a little close as the 2 and the 08 go at it. Switching, swapping positions. Want to take their best shots at leading the race here tonight. The vet track number 2 looking for that top spot once again. He's going to lead him across the line by just a nose. Help from the lap machine. Scott Wise right behind that fast Ford Mustang. They're going to help out a fellow Ford in the field. Landon Lacey just can't get there. Lacey just can't quite get to the rear end of that 2 to help him. That's going to alienate your 2 blue ovals at the front of the field. It's a mixed bag of manufacturers at the front. Chevy leads the Ford, with the Toyota sitting in third. If you want to know what it's like, let's bring it trackside. We're going to meet the mic for a lap or 2 here. Let's get you some of these amazing sights and sounds from the iRacing Super Speedway. Let's turn it up. And we've got a driver to pit road, carrying on board. Camaro camera, Greg Thompson to pit lane. Do the rest of the field have to hit pit road. 19 laps to go here tonight. Your U.S. Veterans Pole Award winner Travis Gilbert remains out front. Joe Wells going to move into second with Sam Taylor back in third. Landon Lacey in fourth. Thompson on to pit road. Working his way out of pit lane here. More than likely will lose a lap here. And it's going to be tough sledding for Thompson because he's not going to have any sort of draft help. That is going to be a huge factor. You can see the field going to blast by him through the center of 1 and 2. Thompson down a lap. No help in sight. This could spell trouble for Thompson at the end. Tony Stewart is a happy man, less than half the kids left. Well, honestly, there's more than half of the field left. I mean, there's 14 drivers on the track. We started with 22, so we do have more than half of the field on the track, but way less. On the lead lap, the pickings are slim, and it looks like we could see a repeat race winner. Odds are stacked against Joe Wells for the time being the only driver to visit victory lane, remaining on the lead lap, but he is sitting in a very good position, sitting in second now, right behind your race leader, your pole sitter here tonight, Travis Gilbert. He's searching for his first win. Sam Taylor in third, looking for victory lane for the first time. Let's not forget about the 54 of Landon Lacey. 0.3 of a second separate your top 4 positions. And we're gonna have only 15 laps remaining here tonight. 45 miles of green flag action remaining ahead of these National Association of Stock Car Virtual Racing's Masters of the Draft drivers. The Xfinity Series has already produced a first-time winner. Odds are stacked against Wells on winning again. Could this be the series that produces the most first-time winners? And a little bit of a bump, tried to get the nose to the left of that too, looking to root him up the track, but unable to get the job done. Joe Wells been doing everything he can. And well, I mean, I'd like to say that we won't have any more cautions, but you know how things get nitty gritty down at the end with plenty on the line. You know, you mentioned Tony Stewart earlier here tonight, Brady. We're going to mention another Tony Stewart moment, a meme, if you will, by now. I'll wreck my mom to get a season championship. I'll wreck your mom for a season championship. Will one of these drivers move a driver in front of them for the opportunity to stand in victory lane? I mean, we all have mores, we all work by certain codes, but we all also know that rules are meant to be bent, maybe not broken, and exceptions to the code can be made Will drivers keep it clean in your top four, or will somebody bend the sportsmanship code and move their fellow driver to walk away with the top spot? And, oh, trouble coming to pit road. Trouble coming to pit road. Landon Lacey is now going to have a huge problem on his hands. Majority of the field looks like they got woed down in time. Here comes Greg Thompson. Will he look like a genius at the end of this thing? All ready to pit road for the final time. He's going to come around and get himself back onto the lead lap mark. Ackerman also gets himself one lap closer to being back into contention. Full throttle, full song down the back stretch. Gilbert, Wells, Lacey, Taylor on pit road. Gilbert and Wells already down and away. Looks like a fuel-only stop for your top two. And Thompson, I just don't think, with no help, I just don't think it's going to work out. An amazing thought, an amazing strategy. You're exactly right. Stock car racing was not invented by people that follow the law and the rules. Absolutely. And a great strategy, just nobody to help him along the way. Greg Thompson will move back inside of your top five. He's going to move to that fourth position now, but still over 14 seconds back from Landon Lacey. Travis Gilbert leads the field by just about 1 second. So late race pit stops open the field up. But look at the man in the catbird seat. It's going to be a two-car battle here. Joe Wells able to maintain pace, and here he is sucking a little bit of that draft, getting some toe down the back stretch. He's going to pull right to the bumper. Doesn't make the move. Do you want to show your hand early? Do you want to make that move and try it? Or do you want to just wait? See if you time it right at the end. Over a 2-second advantage for your top two over to the third place runner, Landon Lacey, who was able to utilize the fast fix. Lacey had that quick repair in his back pocket. Fortunate enough for Lacey, he's able to not miss a beat, get back out racing for what should be a comfortable third place finish here, barring any problems with these top two. If they get too racy, Lacey may be able to pick up the pieces and walk away with a race win. Less than 30 miles of racing action remain as we work our way through 3 and 4 off of the corner. Back down the front stretch across the line. 9 laps to go here from the iRacing Super Speedway. Clicking off the final few laps here with the masters of the draft, we're going to take this brief moment an opportunity to thank a little bit more of our sponsors tonight. I want to give a huge shout out to Mountain Mafia Kennels, the best American bully breeders in North Carolina. You can find them on the west side of the state over there in the Blue Ridge Mountains, Haywood County's finest. Mountain Mafia Kennels. If you're in the mood for a new pup, check them all out. Some of the best breeders you can find. Look for them on Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Once again, that's Mountain Mafia Kennels. Huge shout out to Brian and Tommy, making things work, making things happen over there at Dale Earnhardt Chevrolet, located in Newton, North Carolina. That's right, the original Intimidator spot Dale Earnhardt Chevrolet. If you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, they've got one to fit your needs right there on the lot. You can check them out on the internet as well, but don't forget to stop by the souvenir shop. Once again, that's Dale Earnhardt Chevrolet. For all my gaming heads out there watching and looking, if you're into GTA, you like the RP, the online play, check out Out of Work RP over there on the 5M server side of things. Make this city your city at Out of Work RP. Seven laps remaining. Big shout out as well to Buster's Corner, providing multiple different setups throughout this season for the Masters of the Draft. I want to give a huge shout out to each and every one of the guys and girls working hard behind the scenes over there, as well as the U.S. Veterans of affiliation, the Pole Award, the sponsor season after season here with the National Association of Stock Car Virtual Racing. So a ton of different sponsors that make things work, make things click. And a big tip of the cap, thank you to each and every one of you for every little contribution. Again, without you, there would be no us. But enough about us. Let's make it about them. These guys out on track. The 5-finger wave high five from the boss man of the flag stand. Just 5 laps remaining, 15 miles of racing ahead of your top two. Will Joe Wells make that move? Big gaps all through the field. Thompson unable to reel in Landon Lacey, who has lost some ground now, being in no man's land all alone. No draft help for the 54, so it has indeed come down to this. Travis Gilbert, Joe Wells battling for the race lead. Will we have a new race winner or a repeat? Will Wells go back-to-back racing wins to start things off here in the 4-week Xfinity Series mini block? And you know, I've got some time, so I'm going to divulge on this one. We got a little bit of time here. That myself and Joe have had some communications over the past week or so. I do apologize about not being able to cover last week's race at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Some health issues kept us out of the broadcast booth. We are doing a little bit better. We're making do with what we've got to, but enough about all of that. But we joked with each other about, you know, maybe I should miss this week so we could get back to victory lane. Maybe he'll try to get there this week. Just jokes, poking fun with each other. And I told him today, as a matter of fact, if I could put it up on screen to show you, I would. He said, well, maybe I'll get to talk to you in victory lane here tonight. And it gave us that laughing out loud, crying emoji sideways deal. And my response genuinely was, you've got a shot as long as you don't die. That was my answer in response to him. Back and forth in direct messages. And here it is. He didn't die, and he's got the chance. Popsicle sticks on display. 2 laps remaining, 6 miles of racing action ahead of your top two. Who will get it done? Will it be the vet to track number 2 of Travis Gilbert? Or will we see Wells put it in victory lane? Back-to-back weeks. Here it is, off of turn number 4, this time across the stripe. White flag flies. Final lap here from the iRacing Super Speedway. When will Wells make the move? It's coming. You know it's coming. He's gonna try it. When will he try it? What will he try? Will he take it to the high side or try to okey doke him and open up that inside lane? Wells hot on the trail, all over the rear bumper, heading down the backstretch, midway through the backstretch, still tucked up in behind. We've got lap traffic out in front. This could come into play. Inside lane opened up the track, goes the 2. Joe Wells to the bottom of the racetrack. Wells to the bottom of the racetrack with the mishandling of the 2. My goodness, and just like that, Joe Wells crosses the line, your race winner. Once again, to hear from the iRacing Super Speedway. Oh my goodness. Some ill handling machines throughout the field here tonight. Coming to the end of tonight's race, you can see a little bit of trouble from that 2 up the racetrack. The inside lane opens up. Joe Wells bounces on the opportunity and walks away with his second win in 2 weeks. Man, oh man, that guy's going to be ecstatic when we get to talk to him here tonight. Raise hell, praise hell, Joe Wells will be yelling in victory lane, I promise you. Joe, one of them drivers we love and enjoy to talk to. All the fans in the stands going to be happy with this one. He's going to put on quite a bit of a smoke show on the front stretch for everybody. So as he enjoys his post-race celebrations, we're going to step away for just a handful of moments, get things set up and ready to go for your post-race interview. So don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back. And back trackside high above the iRacing Super Speedway. At the conclusion of tonight's race, we're going to dive right into our post-race interviews. Let's see if we can't catch up and have a few words with the man behind the wheel of his fast Ford Mustang driving that 54 machine home to a third place finish here tonight. Landon, it's Dave in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey man, how you doing? How you feeling after a fine finish, being able to avoid the majority of the chaos tonight, if you will, and bring that Ryko machine home in third?
Yeah, sadly we didn't miss all the chaos. Um, did a very good job at the beginning, just trying to put myself in the right spot. I knew from running in practice we were gonna have some wrecks pretty early on, um, and from lap one it started, and I was just trying to make sure I put myself in the right spot to where I could miss those wrecks. And did everything right, and then the green flag pit stop there. I don't know if Scott didn't hear me or not. I mean, I called out I was pitting, and I still got hit from behind, so I don't really know what happened there. But still get a top three out of it, so better better than most days.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to rub salt in the wounds for anybody that had trouble here tonight, but it's still better than most tonight as well. So, even with that little bit of trouble, you're able to walk away with a fair share of points. Moving into next week's race, round number 3 in this 4 week Xfinity block. How you feeling about these final 2 weeks? How you feeling about your chances to maybe reel in a championship?
Um, honestly, I kind of took a break from this league for a little while. Um, but I came back last week, and I'm back this week. At this point, I don't care about winning championships at this point. I'm just here to win races.
Well, that's what we like to hear. Hopefully, we're going to see you back in these post race interviews next week. But before we let you go here tonight, would you like to give any final shout outs, thank yous, love yous?
Oh yeah, of course. Always shout out to Ryko, everybody over there. Thanks to Ken and all the guys that do all the hard work um, over at Ryko to help put me in good race cars, and so if you're looking for setups, go to ryko-motorsports.com. They have all kinds of data packs that you can look at from pro drivers like Garrett Maines. They have um, live telemetry that you can look at, and also look at other Ryko drivers' telemetry. Just a bunch of extra cool things that I feel like a lot of setup shops don't have. Um, Thank you to Gossip Bus Lines as well, as they're a sponsor for Ryko. So, a huge shout out to them as well. Thank you to Filthy Five Motorsports, Brando, Dakota, um, Darren Mack. Those guys are amazing. Glad to have them as teammates. Um, Shout out to Joe. Congrats on his second win in a row. And other than that, thank you to everybody that makes all this go around.
Well, Landon, we do appreciate you and everything you do week in, week out there on the track. I want to piggyback off of what you said with Ryko one quick moment, and a lot of the viewers may not know this. I know you probably don't know it, but Ryko absolutely one of the best in the business. Especially on the dirt track side of things, it brought our very own Youth in the Booth a division championship behind the wheel of his big block modified using the Ryko setups. Brought myself a second place in 2 different divisions in the season. So, Ryko definitely one of those ones you want to go check out and look at. Send a big shout out their way for me, Landon. But until next time, my man, sorry to get talking, but until next time, keep that thing safe. And as always, we know you're going to be fast.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, there you go. Final few words for the man walking away third here tonight. That's going to move us right along the list and just a little further the victory lane. Going to take just a moment here. Let's see if we can't dial up your U.S. Veterans Pole Award winner and walking away second here on the track tonight behind the wheel of that vet to track number 2. Travis, it's Dave. You got a copy?
I do, Dave. How's your evening going, bud?
Man, I can't complain. If I did, wouldn't matter. Nobody would listen, so I'm still here. How you feeling?
Uh, not too bad. Pretty good race. Started out not so well, so here we are, second place. Teammate got the win, so yeah, I'm not gonna complain.
Well, man, you had a pretty eventful night. You were up at the front. A little bit of trouble with the handling. It was the Are the bumps here at the iRacing Super Speedway as bad as they seem to be from outside of the car?
Let me tell you something, Dave. You ever been 245 mile an hour tucked up behind the car, and then all of a sudden you're going into a blind corner, and all of a sudden, whoop whoop, out from underneath you?
I mean, I've never done it, but I've watched a few of you guys do it.
Yeah, 240 some. All right, so it's one thing to be doing like 220 by yourself and to go over the bump. It's not like you can feel it, right? But it's not super dramatic. I'm sitting there pushing Greg, the O8 along, and I'm thinking, okay, 240, 245, getting off the gas, and all of a sudden that bump, yeah, if you don't hit it just right, you're like you've seen. I think the whole field got wiped out from the bumps this evening.
Yeah, a vast majority of the field did have problems. A lot of it did stem from those bumps, whether it be in one or three. So the trouble wasn't in one specific spot, but uh, fortunately enough for yourself and your two crew, you were able to mend the pieces, get back out there, and work your way back onto the lead lap, and then scoot away from the field there in those final few laps. Do you think you could have done anything different there? It looked like you had a little bit of handling troubles in that final corner.
Yeah, speaking of handling troubles, I think iRacing, whoever made the setup with the compression, they could have made the compression a little stiffer, and it would prevent us from going and, basically bouncing off the basketball or off the track like a basketball. So, yeah, getting off there in turn to three, the last lap, I had my teammate Joe behind me, some lap traffic, and I caught the bump wrong, and as I landed, it shot me up the track, and Joe had a full head of steam. So by the time I could get throttled back up, he was gone. I couldn't even side draft him or anything. So
Well, an amazing run here tonight, Travis. We know you were quick. You proved that here tonight. Before we let you go, would you like to give any final shout outs, thank yous, love yous?
yeah, I'd like to thank Vet the Track you seen and introduced us. Appreciate Jim Whittam and everybody. Thanks to all the veterans and the service members, past, present, and future, that do what they do for our country and keep us safe and give us an opportunity to use the technological advances. When I first was joining the military, it was just a dream to be doing something like this. Matter of fact, it was to be doing it on a real racetrack, but to be doing it on esports and having COVID and having it blow up the way it did and having this platform. So want to shout out to all of them because they're the ones that protect us and make sure that we can go to sleep and wake up and have our daily 9 to 5s and our pursue our passions and our dreams. Like to thank Scott Wise and everything that they do for us over here at the NASCVR VR League. You for coming over and putting it on. So broadcasting. Hopefully it was a fun race over at Turn Three Racing Network. All my fans, my family, everybody that watches. It's fun. Anyways, I have to plug. Go to store.vettotrack.org and go buy some merch and go represent some veterans and pick up some cool stuff and spread the word. And you all have a good week and a good weekend and appreciate you guys.
Well, Travis, you have yourself a good week. We look forward to catching up with you possibly at the end of next week's race. But until then, as always, stay safe and, of course, keep it fast.
Appreciate it. And we will do that. Thank you.
All right, there you go. Final few words for the man that walks away second. Your U.S. Veterans Poll Award. Early trouble. Perseverance pays off. And Gilbert gets that two machine back to the second. And that's going to move us into victory lane. We're going to make up for last week's miss with his race win to doing it again. We're going to get 2 wins worth of interview in here tonight, Joe, man. You got to be absolutely ecstatic.
Oh, dude, I am, bro. I am on cloud nine, man. I mean, back-to-back wins start off the Xfinity Series. It's a great showing for G Lightning Motors. Travis was kicking ass as well. Back-to-back weeks of 1-2 finishes, and I can't even describe it. I got my first win last week. I got my first I got my first stage win of the season today, and then topped it off with that back-to-back finish here. So I'm on cloud nine, Dave.
Well, man, I mentioned some of our back and forth a little bit earlier here tonight, and you can just verify this for me. I mentioned just a handful of moments before qualifying and such got underway earlier here today from the iRacing Super Speedway about, well, man, just as long as you don't die, you got the chance. Was I wrong? You didn't die, and you had your chance.
Yeah, I definitely I owe a lot of this race one to amazing teamwork from all the guys on TNT and G Lightning Motors, um, Travis, Sam, Pickle, those guys, Landon as well, um, Al Likens as well. All those guys did an amazing job tonight working together, and William as well. Can't forget William, but it ended up being one of those things where I knew I wanted to be up front when all of the carnage was about to happen. So that was I owe it a lot to the qualifying lap. I don't know if you've paid attention, but throughout the season so far, my qualifying's been honestly my worst part of my game, I guess if you will. So qualifying fifth today to be able to be up front when that carnage happened was huge. So was able to keep my nose clean. I had that one 360 spin all by myself with no damage. So I think one of the crazy things about today's race is I finished the race without using my quick repair as well. So I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, a day that you can finish a super speedway race with the fast repairs still in your back pocket has got to be a good day. You mentioned it there a moment ago, a little bit of trouble, moment, if you will. You were able to avoid any damage and carnage out of that one, so a job well done there. I think that may be the key to the race here for you tonight. Your trouble was no trouble really at all, and that set you up to be able to keep yourself in the mix up at the front and eventually steal the race win. Joe, it's been a pleasure to catch up with you here tonight. We're ashamed of ourselves that we didn't get to catch your first race win, but redeeming ourselves a little bit and you doing the same, walking away with back-to-back race wins. Before we let you go and spray the champagne, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous?
Yeah, well, first I want to thank you, Dave. I know you've been I know you're out last week, so want you to know everybody over here in Masters of the Draft is thinking of you. So glad to have you back here in the booth and broadcasting this race. I told you I had to get back to back wins so that way I could get in the booth with you again. So, but big shout out to my teammates, Travis. That dude's a godsend. That guy is a crazy racer. Last 2 weeks, I mean, without him, I don't know where I'd be right now as far as the championship goes. Definitely have a stronghold on the Xfinity championship, and now I'm making my run again back to the top of the overall points. So, want to thank all the guys on G Lightning Motors, both in this league and outside of the league. Really appreciate you guys. Um, Shout out to Landon Lacey as well for working with me tonight. He had a great race. Um, who else am I missing? I know Daryl had to miss the race, so Daryl, wish you're on track with us tonight. Really miss you. Hope you're doing well. Want to shout out my friends Tom. Want to shout out my friend Hunter, my friend Flo, my friend Brady, my friend Aaron, all my friends that are watching these races on YouTube and on my Twitch stream. Really can't thank you guys enough for the love and the support. So, really happy to get the car and victory lane on stream this time and on broadcast, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again soon, Dave.
Well, man, if you continue the runs you've been having as of late, I can assure you we'll be talking again. You're going to set yourself up with a commanding little bit of a points lead heading into our third Xfinity race. We hope things continue to play out the way they have for you over the first 2 weeks. But until then, my friend, as always, stay safe and keep it fast.
Yes, sir, Dave. Hope you have a great one, man. Remember, do it for Dale.
And there you go, doing it for Dale, raising hell and praising Dale. You can see him with that bad beer in the back. Joe Wells gets the job done. He's going to bring his machine home to a victory lane for the second time in as many weeks. What a race, what a night here from the iRacing Super Speedway. Job well done by both Gilbert and Wells at the front of the field. A little bit of chaos, a little bit of carnage out there for a handful of drivers in the field here tonight. Going to mix up the point standings heading into race number 3. But as producers hit the buttons in the background, you know the familiar sounds. You know it's time for us to run down our unofficial race results here tonight from the iRacing Super Speedway. Walking away with the top spot for the second week in a row behind the wheel of the number 3 machine, Joe Wells. Walks away with the checkered flag. U.S. Veterans Poll Award winner Travis Gilbert will finish in second with Landon Lacey back in third. Greg Thompson in fourth. Fifth place tonight to the 88 of Sam Taylor, the Mountain Dew machine. Mark Ackerman will slide home in sixth. Dylan Picklesheimer back in seventh with the 48 of Brandon Browning coming home at eighth. Ninth place tonight, the 59 of Darren Mackwood. Larry Bruner in 10th. 31 of Scott Wise comes home at 11th, 12th place tonight from the iRacing Super Speedway, the 07 of George Burns. Andrew Moore in 13th, 14th tonight, the Gregory Thurlow with William Britton behind in 15th. The Drift King, early trouble here tonight. Jacob Drift going to finish in 16th, 17th from the track is Zach Allen and Dakota Bailey back in 18th. 19th tonight belongs to Jim Thorndike with Al Likens, Mark Willett, and Anthony Handley finishing out your 22 car field. That's going to be it for us. We're going to roll up the cords and cut off the lights. Get ready for next week's Super Speedway racing action. If you haven't already, to show these drivers love and appreciation, join us in that push to 4,000 subscribers. Show the love, drop the thumbs up, click subscribe, smash the bell over there on the right hand side. Get notified anytime we go live. Stay safe, stay love, my friends, and until next time, we'll meet you in turn 3.